Have you ever forgotten someone's name right after hearing it? Or remembered a random childhood moment for no reason? Memory is one of the most fascinating functions of the human brain. It allows us to learn, grow, make decisions, and hold onto our identity. But how does memory actually work? Psychologists generally break memory into three key processes: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Let's break those down. Encoding is how we take in information, like reading a sentence or hearing a song. Storage is how that information is maintained over time. Retrieval is getting it back out when we need it, like during a test or while telling a story. A classic model of memory was introduced in 1968 by Atkinson and Shiffrin, called the multi-store model. They proposed three types of memory: sensory memory, short-term memory, STM, long-term memory, LTM. First, sensory memory holds information for just a fraction of a second, like the afterimage of a sparkler in the dark. It comes in forms like iconic memory, visual, and echoic memory, auditory, but it fades quickly unless we pay attention. If we do pay attention, the info moves to short-term memory, where it lasts for about 15 to 30 seconds. Psychologist George Miller found that short-term memory can hold about 7 items, plus or minus 2. This is why phone numbers are typically 7 digits long. But short-term memory is limited. To hold more, we use techniques like chunking. For example, instead of remembering 19451991, you might chunk it into 1945 and 1991. To keep information longer, it needs to move into long-term memory, which has a practically unlimited capacity. Long-term memory is divided into two main types: explicit or declarative memory, things we consciously recall; episodic memory, personal experiences, like your last birthday; semantic memory, facts and knowledge, like the capital of France; implicit or non-declarative memory, things we recall without conscious effort; procedural memory, how to ride a bike or type on a keyboard; conditioned responses, like flinching at a loud sound. So why do we forget? One reason is decay. Memories fade if we don't use them. Another is interference, when other memories get in the way. There are two types of interference: proactive interference, old info blocks new info, like remembering your old password instead of your new one; retroactive interference, new info blocks old info, like forgetting your old address after moving. Retrieval can also fail due to cue-dependent forgetting, when we can't access a memory because the right trigger or context is missing. A famous study by Godin and Baddeley, 1975, showed that scuba divers who learned words underwater remembered them better underwater than on land. This shows how context matters for memory. Another major factor is emotion. Emotional experiences, especially intense ones, are more likely to be remembered. This is because of the brain's amygdala, which strengthens memory formation when emotions are involved. However, memory isn't perfect. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus showed that memory can be easily distorted. In her famous studies on eyewitness testimony, she found that changing the wording of a question, like saying "smashed" instead of "hit," could alter people's memories of a car crash. This means memory is reconstructive. We don't just replay a video in our heads. We rebuild memories, and they can change over time. Finally, how can you improve your memory? Psychologists recommend spaced repetition, reviewing information over time; elaborative rehearsal, connecting new info to things you already know; mnemonics, memory tricks like acronyms or visual imagery; good sleep and exercise, both boost memory consolidation. In short, memory is more than just remembering facts. It's how we build our personal story, learn from the past, and navigate the future. In the next video, we'll dive into cognition, how we think, solve problems, and make decisions, and explore what happens between memory and action.